Hello and welcome. My name is Irfan Ali and I'm the Edge Segment Sales Lead globally for NVIDIA. I'm here joined by key executives from Hitachi, and we're going to be talking about manifesting physical AI in industrial applications. Physical AI is a key initiative from NVIDIA, so this is a very important topic for us. So why don't we do a quick round of intros with the panel? Maybe Jason, we'll start with you.
Yeah, excellent.
If you can introduce yourself and talk about what your role is at Hitachi.
Perfect, yeah. Thanks for being here, Irfan. Really excited to have this session together. My name's Jason Hardy. I'm the Chief Technology Officer for Artificial Intelligence with Hitachi Vantara. Hitachi Vantara is, you can think of it as like the IT arm, the server storage portion of Hitachi Limited from an ecosystem perspective. A key partner of ours is obviously NVIDIA. And what we focus on is the infrastructure side of solving for the AI problem. So how we address that with our customers, how we incorporate data and storage and the whole strategy around it. And then obviously how we work with the broader Hitachi ecosystem to incorporate in a lot of what we're doing into our 13,000+ customers that we have from just the IT segment and the business segment. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Excellent. Thank you.
Maybe next we can go with Frank. If you can introduce yourself.
Thanks, Irfan. Great to be here. My name is Frank Antonesami. I'm the Chief Growth Officer with Hitachi Digital. And I have the exciting job of being the bridge between Jason, who just introduced himself as representing our LT segment, and Koji-san, who you will meet shortly, who represents our rail business, which comes from our industrial segment. And as you can imagine, the need to bridge these two worlds, the industrial world of energy, mobility, transportation, and manufacturing with the IT and digital world requires a very thoughtful and deliberate attempt to build capability, solutions, and partnerships. I have the exciting job of leading that business, and I'm based in Princeton, New Jersey.
Thank you, Frank. Koji-san, if you could introduce yourself as well.
Thank you. Irfan-san, I'm very happy to be here. My name is Koji Agatsuma, Chief Technology Officer, Hitachi Rail Vehicle. So my main role is innovation, of course, but as you can imagine, train is no longer just a simple public transport. Train becoming robot, start using physical AI. So exciting now because we have such an environment. AI is driving our future. So my main role is to accelerate the digitalization of railway. Thank you.
Thank you, Koji-san. Let's get started with our dialogue. So maybe we'll start with you, Frank. You know, Hitachi is known as an appliance company with a huge legacy. What would you say, what is Hitachi of today, and how does Hitachi plan to implement AI and machine learning into their solutions?
Thank you, Irfan. Interesting question, and I'm grateful to have the opportunity to clarify. Hitachi is many things, right? Appliance is one part of it, but we are a global conglomerate which operates in industries that are mission critical and that are relevant for social infrastructure. And when I say social infrastructure, it includes energy, mobility, manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, and all of these technologies and capital intensive industries that are necessary for social infrastructure. We also had a very large, very global digital services business, and that allows us to leverage our expertise in data and analytics and AI for the transformation for our own industries. Right? If you look at each of these industries, Koji-san spoke about the railway, the train becoming a autonomous robot. A lot of the industries that we operate in, whether it is the sustainable energy transition in energy, the leverage of autonomous robotics in manufacturing, or what Koji-san spoke about in the advancements in AI in our trains, a lot of these require the fusion of our digital capability and our industrial capabilities. And of course, with the advancement of AI and with all of the great partnership that we have with NVIDIA, Irfan, we have been able to infuse AI in our products, in our operations, in our services. So the manifestation of the solutions that we've been building, whether it is with our rail business, with our energy business, with our robotics businesses, truly is bringing together the physical world and the world of AI. So we're excited about what it means for transformation for our own businesses within Hitachi, but more importantly, we're also excited about the transformation we are able to bring to our customers, to the society, and to the environment. So that's what is exciting about this opportunity to work with leaders like yourselves.
Fantastic. Thank you, Frank. Jason, you're the CTO for Vintara. Now, where does Vintara fit into the picture of this architecture, if you will?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we look at how we're addressing the AI industry, the market with our customers, obviously there's a level of IT prowess that needs to come with this, from an infrastructure side to support it at the GPU level, at the storage, at the data level. But it's also on how you collaborate and coordinate a lot of this stuff. So if we look at what we're doing with the bigger Hitachi ecosystem, for example, it's how what Frank builds from a solution standpoint, how we can package that jointly together as a complete turnkey offering, and then take that not just in partnership with Frank into the Hitachi ecosystem, but into the greater global ecosystem. So it's how we can bring solutions together, how we can bring turnkey infrastructure in to support that, how we can embed the GPU into it, but it's also how data plays a part of this. Yeah. And that's a core part from a foundational perspective of who Hitachi Vantara is. We are a data-driven company. We've been doing this for almost 50 years now. So in that gives us this ability to understand data and how it plays a key role in the enterprise. And that is the fuel for AI moving forward. So whether it's helping from a manufacturing process, like what Frank had said, or if it's helping our life sciences customers, or whoever it is, it's being able to bridge the gap between who we have and the expertise we have inside of Hitachi Limited, but it's also how we play a role in understanding how IT and data plays a key part of this, and then bringing them together and offering them out as solutions to our customer base. So it's kind of this dance, if you will, of how we pull in all the key components and then offer it out as a tailored solution with the rest of Hitachi behind it to actually provide these capabilities. So from a Hitachi Vantara perspective, we released our Hitachi IQ portfolio. That's how we address AI, is through this portfolio. And that is the solution side of it, plus the infrastructure side of it, to again address and be able to push into the market to create this methodical, practical approach to addressing the AI demand.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, Frank talked about your vision for AI within industrial. You talked about the infrastructure. Koji-san, let me ask you a question. You're the CTO for vehicles. You mentioned a little bit about the train solution. Can you explain a little bit more details around that? And how do you plan to bring AI into the real world applications?
Yeah, thank you, Irfan-san. Because AI is now so important for many industries, including rail, no doubt. So because we have a common challenge, not only us, customer also has the same challenge, which is A, shortage of human resource, and B, material cost increase, and C, frontline workers pain, particularly night shift maintenance. So that's why train is now becoming a robot. Train has a lot of sensor generating a lot of data. So we really need a big power to analyzing the data, because every hour many terabytes of data coming in. So that's why those real data analyzed by AI, and then informing to customer before a critical issue happening. Not only real data analytic we are using AI, but also digital twin. So because a lot of data which we can create virtual railway, and then not only train infrastructure, tunnel condition, everything we can connect together, and then we can make a judgment to generate better railway, efficiency improvement. And also root cause analysis, number of things we need to do, a lot of simulation. Also we are using AI to simulation. Therefore, mainly 3 area we already using AI. Real data analytic, digital twin, virtual railway, and also simulation. So those are our current area we are using AI.
Thank you, Koji-san. Let me shift gears a little bit. So this is probably for Jason, you, and Frank. What is Hitachi's future strategy, right? You guys are industrial, you're in social improvement, and now AI. How do you plan to combine those things together in your future strategy? Maybe we can start with you, Jason, and ask Frank.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we innovate in this space, obviously the capabilities are endless, and we know this AI market is rapidly evolving. So how we're able to bring in these key technical capabilities and then blend them into the OT side allows for us to really address, again, a practical approach to bringing AI to the market. So as we innovate in these various market segments, and as Frank's team drives in these digital innovations, we're able to, again, bring that forward and say, hey, we actually have a real world outcome that we can address, again, whatever it is that the market needs and demands for that space. What I really appreciate about that is that capability gives us really this end-to-end. It's not just about the infrastructure that Vantara provides, but it's about the innovation that we're driving into these OT markets that Frank's organization and Koji-san and the rest of them are providing, that then we can package together and actually have a real-world capability around. So it's not hyperbole or some sort of like pie in the sky thing. It's like it's grounded in reality that we can actually execute on. So it's all about this innovation side and the cycle that we go through. But then it's embedding in and saying, listen, we can do this in a very methodical way that is practical and has that tangible outcome with it. So it's all of this kind of innovation soup that we're building that then we can leverage in and really lead forward in. And it comes a lot with the digital expertise that Frank's team is building around and our reliance on that to then pull that forward and start to bring that into market. So.
Excellent. And Frank, Hitachi Digital's role in that, what would you like to add?
No, I'll start with the innovation soup that Jason was talking about, Irfan, right? So that's really, if you look at what Koji-san mentioned, right? He spoke about how in the rail business, the trains are getting smarter, very connected, lots of sensor data coming in, and we leveraging data analytics and AI to drive multiple things, right? So to improve front-end worker productivity for our operations and maintenance workers, to improve and understand the performance of our own products, right, on an ongoing basis. Now, that's true for our rail business. That's true for the other industries that we operate in as well, right? In our energy business, for example, whether it is the high voltage transformers or the other high voltage equipment that we have as part of the portfolio, the substation automation solutions, the grid automation solutions that we have, all of these real world physical systems are generating a lot of data that is extraordinarily valuable for us to understand the performance of these assets and the operational parameters of these assets. Right? So the framework of what Koji-san said about we getting a lot of data from our assets and from the ecosystem of those assets and using that data to build learning systems that improve the performance, that drive better uptime of all of these assets and operations is one core part of the strategy. And because we are operating in mission critical industries, this requires us to take some critical design decisions about where is the data going to reside? Are we going to build these solutions on the edge, or are we going to train some models in the cloud and deliver this on the edge? What kind of certifications, licensing requirements do we have to operate in these mission critical industries? Right? So the reference architecture that requires to be stood up for us to drive these turnkey solutions requires expertise and capabilities in three different levels. Right? Jason spoke about the infrastructure and the reliability of the data infrastructure we need to be able to ingest all this data, process it, understand it better. Now, there's also the design decisions that we need to make about which parts of this is going to be on-prem, what do we use for the cloud for. All of this requires scaled enterprise-level capability at the data infrastructure level. Once we have that, it's equally important for us to understand the very domain-specific models that are required. Right? Koji-san's vehicle businesses and the signaling algorithms that we are required to operate in the railway industry is very specific to that industry. and the algorithms that we are deploying there is built on the decades of experience that we have in operating these railway systems. And the same is true for the other industries that we operate in, whether it is on manufacturing, on transmission and distribution. The domain expertise that is behind the very specific models that we're building is the second layer of it. And the third layer really is the ability to integrate all of this, right? So these models have been built, we have the reliable infrastructure, and being able to deploy it in a way that commercially makes sense, again, requires us to take design decisions that make sure that the capex cost, the operating expenses on a month-on-month basis, all of this is still a very reliable, affordable, practical AI solution, right? So that's where, Irfan, the partnership with NVIDIA has been very helpful for us, because at each of these layers, right, whether it is at the infrastructure layer, where all the products that you have been really helpful for us, both in training these models at DGX, but also deploying it, as you know, with the IGX and other edge infrastructure, that has been very helpful. The second layer, when we've been building our domain-specific models, is the access to the software stack of NVIDIA, right? Whether it is modulars, the Omniverse stack, it's really accelerated in building these models at scale. And of course, your consulting team's working very closely with us in putting all of these together, right? So at these three layers, building a capability that is across Hitachi and being able to deploy this expertise with rail, with energy, with our connective industries businesses is what we've been working on in delivering value for the company.
I think you're absolutely right. I find that Hitachi is very unique in that capability, where you have a broad industry domain in many different disciplines, and be able to implement that. That's just fantastic. So that brings me to the next question, Jason, for you. So all that is great, but you've been talking to a lot of these customers that are looking to implement this. So what are some of the learnings that you guys have received, and some of the pitfalls potentially that customers may run into, your customers?
Yeah, it's funny that you asked that, because probably the number one thing that we run into is AI, this is amazing. We don't know how to fully use it. What are the use cases for it? Help me identify what the potential is for this. So from our perspective, we've really been focusing on how to answer that question, how to show these are domain practical examples that we can address with the customer, but then really using that as that next step to saying, listen, this is the pre-baked, okay, yes, but really what's applicable to you? What problems are you trying to solve? And they're really helping the customer ideate through that to figure out and discover what problem am I actually really facing here? How can I address that? And then again, I keep saying practical and methodical is to say, okay, you want to change the core of your business. Absolutely get it. Maybe that's not where we start. Maybe we put a little bit of peel that back a little bit further and say, these are some core areas that we could start to focus on that won't put you on front page news if something goes wrong. Right. So let's address it there. And then also the bringing that level of reality that says, just because you put some GPUs in there doesn't mean you have AI. It's that data point of view. It's that outcome-oriented point of view. So being able to step through the entirety of it, saying, listen, yes, absolutely, this technology is taking over the world. It's transforming the way we not just do business, but way we as humans are living on a day-to-day basis. So how can we best harness that to support the business, but also, again, be very practical about it so that there can be, for example, an ROI figured out around it? Because that's a very hard question to answer today. So it's, listen, we're going to fail at this. We're going to succeed at this. How can we make the best out of both of those and then step forward from there? Yeah. And so it's just, again, kind of grounding it in reality a little bit and then accelerating it from there, because it's like once you figure this out, once you have the knowledge for it, you can start that momentum behind it. And it just creates this flywheel that then just starts driving forward and creates all this energy that moves you into the next and the next and the next.
Yeah. You know, what I really like what you said is two things. One is that you guys are focused on the right thing. It is the data that really drives a lot of this. And the fact that you're taking a methodical approach and not saying, hey, you can do all these great things, but ultimately it has to be in the competence of the customer and to be able to adopt those and, systematically implement it.
Yep, absolutely.
Totally agree. Now, shifting that to, with everything that Frank and Jason have said, Koji-san, How would you turn that? How does that translate to business results, right? How does that business driven from a Hitachi perspective?
Before talking about those business, just to give you a quick example of railway market, because after COVID, also market situations keep changing, and a lot of modal shift is now happening from other transport to train for long distance, and also we are expecting more and more people in the city. So that's why very, very important for us to improve infrastructure availability to fully support future demand. So that's why we recently launched HMAX. HMAX is a Hitachi Intelligent Asset Management Platform, Hitachi Hyper Mobility Asset Expert, for us to support those activities. And then now we start monitoring infrastructure condition by using passenger train. So why passenger train? Because of course, a customer used to have a dedicated train running 30,000 kilometers of railway. But maybe measurement is every 3 months, every 6 months, or every month. But rail infrastructure is very similar to human body. After rain, it keeps changing. Nighttime, daytime, or summer, winter, infrastructure is keep changing. Therefore, it is very important to measure every day or every hour, and then finding out the delta. You can imagine if you go to a medical exam once a year, sometimes too late. But if you can imagine medical exam happen every hour, every day, a lot of people's life can be saved. So that's why same in railway, we now introducing daily or hourly examination, and therefore a lot of data, and then we then need a strong partner like NVIDIA, high performance GPU, IGX card, for us to do data analytics in edge computing. Without any delay, we can tell to customer before something happens, we can avoid loss cost. So therefore, business impact point of view, this loss cost avoidance, efficiency improvement, and also a lot of additional benefit, passenger comfort, for example, ride comfort improvement, many additional benefit come from this data analytics services. So then in the end, the key point is that prediction and prevention. Not only just analyzing data, real data, how we can predict the future. Okay, customer 3 months later, this kind of event may happen because look this data. So those prediction and prevention services is very important for the business of us and also business for our customer. This is our goal we try to achieve.
Fantastic. This is great. Let me ask you a very loaded question. Now that you asked the business answer, what is the future for mobility from a Hitachi perspective and the future of rail? What would you say that is?
Yeah, I think, thank you. This is a very good question because not easy to predict future. However, as Frank-san already mentioned, train is now becoming robot, and then autonomous operation, and then also train becoming doctor, and also train also becoming a virtual energy, power source. So because battery is now fitted in train. So therefore, in the end, train is no longer just public transport. And then train become communicator tools because we have high performance computer on board like NVIDIA IGX. And then therefore train becoming a mobile data center. And then more and more functionality will be added on train and railway for us to support people's life better. And everything need to be connected. Power station, train, how we can optimize energy, and city and train and railway, how we can optimize transport. Many items now will be connected, data analyzed, and for us to improve operational efficiency of railway and industry. And so this is our future. So autonomous and data analytic, and then therefore railway station, railway train becoming communicator tool.
That is an amazing picture you just painted, and I'm glad we have this partnership where we can hopefully get to that vision together. So let me ask you now a final question, but it's a hard one. So I'll start with Jason, maybe go with Frank, and then Koji-san, you can answer as well. What are the impediments? We talked about all the awesome things that Hitachi is bringing together to be able to do this. What do you think is going to impede you from doing that?
I think from my perspective, a lot of it is going to be kind of the noise that's constantly being generated inside of this market. And when I say noise, I mean the constant evolution that is going on and all the new things. I think we were talking about this earlier today. The video of Einstein now, that is just a picture that has now been like, so there's a lot of amazing things that are happening, but it's also, where's the practicality in this stuff as we address the enterprise space? So yes, we want to push the envelope and innovate and improve business and be able to drive to that next thing. But again, going back to the thing I keep harping on is that practicality of it, where that being methodical about it. So we need to move fast. We need to move very fast, and we need to be able to do this, though, with a level of precision, especially as we start talking about the industrial side of what we're doing. I mean, it's not just like a chatbot that's going to help you with a customer service question or something like that. In some cases, these are safety systems. In some cases, these are mission critical things. So it's being able to use that technology to improve on those things, but also realizing that we're still at the infancy of really what's going on here. So we need to be able to trust these systems. We need to be able to have a level of confidence in them to be able to accurately do what we are asking them to. Bias is a big problem, and hallucinations are still a thing, and all of that. So it's how can we, again, rush into this technology in a responsible way, but also still realize that we have to put our trust in these things. And so how can we mature this quickly so that we can innovate with it, while also realizing that we're injecting it into systems and platforms and processes that are very critical to business or to society or whatever. So how can we be, again, practical with things, but also keep pushing innovation along and be able to keep moving at the speed of innovation?
Yeah, no, that's a great answer.
I'm going to build on what Jason said, Irfan. Jason spoke about trust, right? And especially in the physical world that we operate in as Hitachi, in the social infrastructure businesses, there is a high level of reliability that our customers and society have come to expect of Hitachi, right? Any of the products or services that Hitachi provides, there's a very high level of reliability, right? And that is a true nature of the physical world that we operate in as well. For example, when you throw a switch, you know exactly what's going to happen, right? When you push a button in the physical world, you know exactly what's going to happen, right? And as we start building AI solutions into our products and services, very conscious of the fact that that level of reliability will continue to be expected by our customers and by ourselves as well, right? So to make sure that we keep the promise of reliability of our products and systems and leverage AI to, on a continuous basis, drive innovation and improvement to these products and services, that's what's the focus for us, to make sure that, it's one thing when a chatbot has a hallucination, but when you're operating in physical AI environments, there's a very, very high level of reliability that is expected of us. And as custodians of the trust that our customers and society have in Hitachi, we're very mindful of the fact that all our AI solutions will have the same level of reliability that all of Hitachi's products and services today have, right? That's the focus, and making sure that we're bringing it to life is the strategy that we're all revolving around.
Yeah, absolutely. And just sorry, Frank, to just expand on that even, is agentic AI is the absolute most popular topic right now. That is leading to a level of autonomous capabilities. I mean, Koji-san mentioned it earlier. How are we going to fill the gap from a workforce perspective as people are aging out and things like that? As agentic gives us an opportunity to solve for some of these problems. But if we're bringing in a level of autonomous automation around this now through these agentic workflows, we have to, like what Frank said, have this trust behind it, that it's going to be like you said, I push a button, I throw a switch, it does that exact thing. We need that same level of confidence in that. And then, like what Jensen has said, it's moving past agentic and into the robotics, physical AI spaces. As that evolution keeps going, is making sure that we have that same level of trust, reliability behind it, just again, as we keep moving along.
Yeah, it's a huge point. Koji-san, what is your perspective of the impediments maybe even from a business standpoint?
Thank you. I think a lot of technology available, even though not perfect, but still better for us to utilize and for us to improve process efficiency. And then I think based on my experience, one of the challenge is people's afraid failure, because this is a current process, time-based, and then wow, this is a new process based on the AI, but can we success or not? And then so when people are going one more or two more step forward, always fear or afraid of failure. And therefore, I think this is one of area, because hard and soft, hard is okay, great, a lot of things, but soft element, people and mindset, this is still one of the challenges, I believe. And then I think rather than sharing only success story, if we can start also sharing lessons learned, and then people is more comfortable. And of course, people learn from only failure, and then we are afraid of failure, and it's okay. Then we can move forward. I think that is my comment relating to those bottlenecks for us to go faster.
Thank you, Koji-san. That was really helpful. Hitachi sits in a very unique position to be domain expertise across many different industries. And the fact that they're implementing AI at a certain methodical way and speed is really encouraging to see, and we appreciate the partnership with them. So I wanted to thank the panelists for joining us today, and I want to thank you for being with us.